What's up? What is good? We back. We back with another embarrassingly dumb ways people have died by the homie. I don't know him personally. Be amazed. You know what I mean? I fuck with his content, his channel. Uh, I really got nothing else to say here, so let's just watch some dumb motherfuckers get checked off or hear stories about dumb motherfuckers who got knocked off. You know what I mean?
Do you ever wonder if humanity will reach a point where we all become collectively enlightened? Like, we'll all just stop doing obviously dumb stuff one day
Shout out Jim Carrey.
and live out each of our lives as happy and healthy individuals?
Why is closed captions on?
Today is not that day. Nor is that day coming anytime soon, because we're on part 16 of this series. For anyone new here, we're looking at people who have removed themselves from the gene pool in ways that are so idiotic they prove that Darwin was right. So get your popcorn ready as
I feel like there's certain like content creators that I could just sit down and like smoke a Dutch with, or drink. You know what I mean, I do both. I drink and I smoke weed. You know what I mean, it's not a flex, but I'm just saying like. But in other news, I feel like Be Amazed is one of them YouTubers I could just sit down. You know what I mean, have an actual conversation, not you know what I mean, feel brain rot because nobody's really gonna say some dumb shit. He's one of them YouTubers. You know what I mean.
we take a look at even more embarrassingly dumb ways people died.
I always love that shit.
Big bada boom. Okay, before we dive into this first one, I just need to check real quick.
Had to make sure this was part 16.
So here's a quick question. If you found some old unstable explosives on a piece of land near your home, what would you do? A. Call the authorities and alert them to the situation. B. Pick them up, cart them around, and attempt to bury them. I'll give you a few seconds to contemplate.
C.
Are
Shove
we
it up your
done?
ass.
Cool. So the answer is obviously A, right? No one in their right mind would try to handle them, let alone bury them, unless they knew what they were doing, right? Right?
Wrong.
Okay, good. I'm not going insane. Why did I ask? Oh, because back in 2004, a gentleman in Chiavenna, Italy, did just that. He discovered some old sticks of dynamite and
Yeah, look, call me stupid. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. What the fuck was Chiavenna? Like Chiavenna, Italy? I ain't never heard that shit. Day in my life.
an abandoned shack on some land near his vineyard. He'd had some experience of working with explosives before, so decided instead of calling the authorities, he could handle the situation himself. Unfortunately for him, this dynamite had been sitting around for a long time and was sweating nitroglycerin, a highly unstable liquid component of this type of explosive. Unaware of how volatile these explosives now were, our man set about attempting to bury them. He dug a 30-foot hole, carefully placed the dynamite in it, and then gently filled it in. However, when he tried to flatten the earth
30-foot
mound
hole?
he'd created by patting it down, the compression triggered the dynamite. The explosion was so huge that it rocked the town of Chiavenna, and police rushed to investigate. They found our man torn to shreds, and he remained alive just long enough to tell them the story before
Wow.
receiving his Darwin Award.
What the fuck?
Got the hump.
Hump
There's a
day?
special circle of hell for
Damn,
people who
today's
hurt
Tuesday.
animals, in my opinion. But there's another circle for those who pick on the wrong animal and lose, where they're mocked for all eternity. And that's the internet.
It's
Back in
facts.
February 2023, the Brioshka Recreation Center in Omsk, Siberia, had a surprise guest for a children's event.
My head is hurting from all these names. Chiavana, Omsk. That shit was called Omsk. 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 Say it with me. Omsk.
And being held there, a Bactrian camel. That's the kind with two humps. The
Oh.
camel, however, was not as excited to be there.
A two-hump
Its handler
camel.
tried to drag it towards the event through a patch of snow outside the center, but the camel was having none of it. Getting increasingly frustrated, the handler resorted to violence, repeatedly striking the animal in the head.
Hey,
Now, I
yo.
don't know if any of you have ever seen an adult Bactrian camel, but these things are huge. They're 6 foot tall at the shoulder and weigh in around 1,000 pounds.
My fault for keep pausing it. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, that shit if we ever have another like war with no guns and like we're just all with swords, just fucking know I'm riding that thing into battle. I am riding that thing into fucking battle. That shit looks like a damn tank with just fur. Like that shit, yo, that shit looks strong as fuck. Like, granted, it's 1,000 pounds, 6 feet. That's a fucking tank.
And while they look pretty chill, they can become unstoppably aggressive. So picking a fight with one is not a smart move, as this guy quickly discovered. After landing, the second camel suddenly responded by biting, mauling, trampling, and flinging the handler around like a rag doll, as he was obviously no match for the massive beast. After the handler stopped moving, the camel went back to being a typical chill camel, as if nothing had happened. Needless to say, after being pummeled by a beast more than 7 times his size, the handler didn't make it.
Hey, man.
So yeah, I guess the lesson here is treat your animals as you want to be treated.
Facts.
Especially animals much bigger than you that are prone to violence.
Let alone that adorable.
Fast food fake. You know, considering how many of us indulge in fast food every day, the people...
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and like shit on people if y'all eat from Burger King, but I'm one of the people, I don't eat from there. You know what I mean? At least not no more. I stopped at least like 2 years, like a year ago maybe. I stopped eating Burger King. Shit, I do not miss it. I'm not even gonna lie. It was good though for the time I was eating it, but then I don't know. I just stopped wanting that. Moral of the story: don't eat Burger King.
Flipping your burgers and making your pizzas really don't make enough money. But in a bid to make more cash, one pair of fast food managers ended up getting way more than they bargained for. This was back in the year 2000, when the night and day managers of a Burger King in Indianapolis came up with a plan to stage a robbery of the store they worked for. The day manager would steal $4,000 in cash from the day's takings before tying up the night manager in the walk-in freezer and setting a small fire in a wastebasket, making it look like the robbers had also tried to burn the place down. The fire alarm would go off, and when the fire brigade...
I really hope Shawty got charged for murder, cause that's basically like homicide at that point. Even though they was both like in on it, that's still homicide.
The night manager would tell them it was a robbery, and no one would think the pair of them had taken the money. This might have been a plan that worked if the day manager hadn't messed up. They set the wastebasket on fire, but it was barely a smolder, which didn't set off any of the fire alarms. It wasn't until the morning crew came in and the rush of air from the open door sparked the smoldering embers to burst into flames that the firefighters were called. And only then did they find the manager in the freezer suffering from extreme hypothermia. As you can guess, she didn't make it to the hospital. But after realizing that the night manager's bindings were loose enough for her to have gotten free and that she could have escaped from the unlocked freezer, they began to suspect foul play.
What the fuck?
It wasn't long before they approached the day manager, who not only still had the cash on them, but had incriminatingly stashed it in a Burger King bag. Man, if you're going to be dumb enough to try a plan like this,
you can't make this shit up. This was in fucking 2000. We only got 23 more years in.
Okay, cyclists of the world, listen up. If we want to improve our reputation, we need to do better. Starting with paying attention. Otherwise, you might end up like this next award winner.
I might sound like an asshole here, but listen, if you're a cyclist, I can't stress this enough. You don't own the fucking road, alright? I don't even drive. You don't own the fucking road. There's a bike lane for a reason. Stay in the bike lane. That's all I'm saying. You know how many cyclists I almost seen get fucking hit by cars in Philly because they refuse to stay in the goddamn bike lane? Y'all need to chill the fuck out. Y'all not in a car. Y'all get hit. Y'all getting fucked.
Back in 1997, a cyclist in Sorocaba, Brazil, put his Walkman headphones on and set off on his bicycle. He was happily listening to his tunes, making his way through the city when he decided to take a shortcut to his destination. Absorbed in his music, he pedaled on, blissfully unaware of his surroundings, when, all of a sudden, he was knocked off his bike by an oncoming plane.
Whoa!
Yeah, the shortcut this guy had decided to take led across Sorocaba Airport's landing strip, and with his music blaring, he hadn't heard the twin-prop plane approaching the runway to land. He crossed its path at exactly the wrong time, and needless to say, he didn't survive. Well, there's at least one important lesson.
Alright, either he was going to die or he was going to be deaf. How the fuck you playing music that loud? You don't hear a goddamn plane.
Lesson for all cyclists here.
He
Not
deserved it.
everything is a cycle lane.
He deserved it.
Up in flames. Here's a question. What do you use gasoline for? I bet most of you just said it's fuel, duh.
Yeah.
But did you know as a petroleum-based product, it's also pretty good at dissolving oils, making it a decent degreaser. The only obvious issue is that it's also highly flammable, which is why it's not advised to use it as your go-to degreaser. But that hasn't stopped some idiots. Back in 1998, a woman in Texas was cleaning the tennis shoes she was wearing with gasoline to give them that bright white finish. If she'd used an ounce of caution, this would have been absolutely fine. Except she was doing it right next to a candle she had
Why?
recently lit, which she
Why?
accidentally knocked over. All of a sudden, the flame ignited the spills of gasoline leading to her shoes. With her feet on fire, she panicked and ran to her neighbor's house, who rushed for a water hose. But as she did, the polyester dress the woman was wearing, a notoriously flammable material, also caught fire from the flame of the shoes. The neighbor eventually put her out, but not before our idiot joined the many Darwin Award winners before her.
That candle falling, I'm not even gonna look at the camera for this one. That camera falling was God's plan. Like, God wanted that candle to fall. Because he was like, yo, you're really, like, you're testing your luck right now.
Braving the barricade. Back in March 2018, New Jersey was in chaos. A recent storm had downed trees and power lines all over the place, so there was traffic snarling the roads and tailbacks everywhere you looked.
Damn.
Barricades were put up left, right, and center. However, one man who'd been asked by his father to come and shovel his driveway decided these barricades simply did not apply to him. He steered around a set of bright orange traffic cones that clearly blocked the road ahead of him and continued on his way.
Dickhead.
That was until a downed electrical wire in the middle of the road, which was live and still buzzing with thousands of volts of electricity, struck the car, zapping the
Yup.
driver and setting the entire thing on fire.
Yup.
Oh man, if only there'd been something to warn him of the danger ahead.
I could.
I don't know, like a set of bright orange cones purposely blocking the road?
My question is, does Be Amazed curse? Because I did not hear this man curse yet. It'd be kind of funny hearing him, like, just saying, look at this fucking guy or something, you know what I mean?
Be smart. Back in 2002, a farmer from Sao Paulo, Brazil was tasked with
Sao
removing a
Paulo?
beehive from one of his orange trees. He could have hired a professional to take care of it, but he figured the easiest and cheapest way to be rid of them would be to burn the hive himself. So he put on his gloves, long pants, and long-sleeved garments.
Granted, this was back in what he just said, I was about to say 2004, fucking 2004. So, like, I don't think they knew of the gasoline method, or did that only work on wasp nests? I got some info to look up after this.
Before sealing everything together with tape so that bees wouldn't crawl into his clothes. Then he put a plastic bag on his head and
Nuts.
sealed it tightly around his neck so the bees wouldn't sting his face.
Motherfucker suffocate.
And finally, he grabbed a torch and went off to burn some bees.
Burn some
A few
bees.
hours later, though, he hadn't returned. Worried, his wife went out to look for him, and she found him. Dead.
As
But
fuck.
it wasn't from the bees. In fact, their hive was untouched. It turned out that the bag strapped to his head was efficient at keeping out the bees, the smoke, and the oxygen he needed to breathe. Yep, this idiot hadn't put any air holes in the bag, and with his gloves taped down, his fumbling fingers weren't able to get any purchase to rip the bag off. Buzzkill. If you legally...
My fault for being off camera on this. I don't know what. Did he not, like, grab the bag and just, like, rip it like that? Why, like, try to one-hand it? Or, like, I don't know. Did he not, like, bro, what kind of gloves is he using? Because I could rip a bag with, like, any fucking gloves at this point. Yeah, that motherfucker was just dumb.
own a gun, there's a good chance you've gone down to a firing range to practice your aim, where you can shoot a bunch of sensible, non-life-threatening targets.
Yep.
You know, like paper targets, steel plates, balloons, live
Shit.
electrical utility poles.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna just move this way. That green thing behind me, on my wall back there, that's actually a shooting range target. That's one of my good ones, so I kept it.
Wait, hang on. That last one isn't found on any shooting range I've ever been to. And with a very good reason, as one Pennsylvania man discovered back in 2002. He and a few of his friends were practicing their marksmanship in a farm field by shooting at, you guessed it, a live electrical utility pole. Specifically, they were aiming at the glass electrical insulators lining the poles and keeping the wire suspended. Now, the good news is their aim was sharp enough to hit at least 6 of these insulators.
Wow.
The bad news was that as they hit the last insulator holding the live electrical wire,
The fact that this is my state, these goddamn corn-eating sons of bitches.
place, it fell down. Suddenly, our man became aware that the sun-scorched farmland they were on could catch fire, and so panicked, he
My
grabbed the
crops.
wire with his hands. Big mistake. Thousands of volts of electricity surged through his body, instantly ending him and fast-tracking his application into the coveted Darwin Award Hall of Fame.
Shout out to PA.
Chivalry is dead. Have you ever done something stupid to try and impress someone you like?
Yup.
Maybe you bought them a super expensive gift, or tried writing them a poem, or worse, singing them a song. Yeah, I can hear the collective sigh of regret emanating.
Fuck you, be amazed, alright? I'm not gonna say I didn't do number one. Cause you know what I mean, unless I know I'm getting married to the girl, I'm not gonna spend a lot of, you know what I mean, I'm not gonna spend a crazy amount of money on her. Like, I'm not gonna buy her like $1,000 bag type shit. You know what I mean? Number two, I'm not writing no poems. Like, I mean, I'm not creative enough to write no fucking poems. I thought about number three though, I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm mad he brought that shit up. I'm not even gonna lie. I can't sing to save my life. Y'all can tell by my voice. I can't fucking sing. I'm gonna leave it there.
World. These approaches may sound cringy, but they're nothing compared to what these next two award winners did. Back in 2004, two Taiwanese college students met up one evening, and after they'd had a little to drink, they both revealed they liked the same girl on campus.
Oh shit.
It was at this point things got heated, and so they decided to have a contest to see who.
There's only one contest, obviously. You're both in a dorm. It depends if other dudes are around. Take it to the other room. Show dicks. Show y'all be show each other y'all shit. Whoever got the bigger schlong gets the girl. That simple. And I'm talking about like you can't be bricked up out here. You gotta be soft. And you know what I mean, that's the one to get the lady.
Between them would get the rights to pursue the girl. And how did they settle this? A nice safe game of rock, paper, scissors, maybe?
Nope.
No. Seeing as this was a matter of honor and dignity,
Oh,
they decided
shit.
to joust. But instead of horses, they'd use their scooters. The rules were that they'd ride at each other full speed, and the first one to turn away would lose the contest. So, without helmets or any kind of safety equipment, the two rode straight at each other, topping out at
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's some shit I would do. Like, as in just like with my brother or like my brother's like friend group. Like, I mean, that's some shit I would fucking do. Shit, I'll even do it with my friend group. Get like some, I'm trying to think, get like some four-wheelers and do that shit.
50 miles per hour and crashed. Neither had the smarts to turn away, which cost both of them their lives. Ironically, they could have saved both their lives if they'd just talked to the girl. As it turned out, she hadn't been interested in either of them.
Damn.
And that just makes this pair of Darwin Awards all the shinier. Kitchen
That's
nightmares.
fucked. That's
Is
fucked.
there anything worse than losing the keys to your home? Ugh, it's so annoying.
No.
If you're lucky, you might remember that you forgot to lock a window and be able to clamber in that way. But it's usually better to just wait for a locksmith to let you in. Otherwise, your impatience could have some real consequences.
That's facts.
Like what happened to this next Darwin Award winner. Back in 2004 in Wolfsburg, Austria,
Yeah, there's a lot of shit happening like 04 this video. I think that's like the second thing that fucking popped up. There was a lot of dumb motherfuckers in 04. I'm gonna take a guess. Wolfsburg. Where the fuck is that even at on the map? What am I even looking at? I thought this shit was like Mexico. I'm not even gonna lie. Ah, shit. I'm gonna say Russia.
incredibly inebriated gentleman returned home late one evening,
Where?
only to discover he couldn't. Back in 2004 in Wolfsburg, Austria, an incredibly
I'm
inebriated
retarded.
gentleman returned home late one evening, only to discover he couldn't find his keys. No matter, he thought, because he could slip in through the kitchen window.
Okay.
The window itself was fixed at the base and tilted out, giving him just enough room to squeeze his head and part of his torso through. And that's when he got stuck. With both his legs off the ground and being a little drunk, he couldn't coordinate himself enough to push through.
Did he snap his neck?
And then there was another complication. As he'd been struggling to get in, he'd accidentally turned on the tap below him, filling the kitchen sink with water. The more he struggled,
He
the more he
drowned.
exhausted himself until he apparently fell asleep, still stuck in the window. From here, his head slipped into the water, and being as drunk as he was, he didn't wake up, and he drowned. He was discovered the next day, and to really make this a top-tier Darwin Award winner, as they were removing the body, the police found his keys in his pocket. Man, if he'd survived this ordeal, I'm pretty sure he would have died of embarrassment.
That man died with his ass tooted up.
A bridge too far.
Not a way to go, brothers.
It takes some serious kahunas to ride a motorbike.
It do.
The speeds, the other road users, the lack of airbags, it's a risky way to travel. But even more so when you're a grade A idiot, like this next guy was. Back in 2008, a Floridian
Oh, hey,
gentleman
baby.
dressed in swim trunks and sneakers was riding along when he noticed the Minnesota Key drawbridge ahead of him was beginning to open. And a sensible rider worth their salt would have slowed down and simply waited for...
To the homie that recommended, that told me this joint came out. Did you ever come across this, like, bridge? Because you say you live in Florida.
for the drawbridge to level again before crossing it, but not this guy. No, instead, clearly thinking he was in a Fast and Furious movie, decided to try his luck and jump the gap.
Oh, fuck
So he
no.
increased his speed and shot
But we all
forward.
thought of it.
Unfortunately for him, drawbridge designers anticipate idiots just like this, and so build in safety measures to most drawbridges in the form of crossing guards. The guards dropped down before a man had a chance to hit the brakes,
Damn.
clotheslining him off his bike at breakneck speeds and careening him over the side of the bridge. He hit the
Ooh.
water, but the impact instantly wiped him out of the gene pool. Ironically, the bike carried on and apparently made it over to the other side. How oddly satisfying.
W bike. L person.
Firework fail. There are a lot of things you shouldn't do with a firework. Shouldn't hold it while lighting the fuse. You shouldn't plant it somewhere dangerous. You shouldn't aim it at people.
Should have stick it
Lot
up
of
your
pretty
ass.
obvious don'ts there. But you know which one I didn't think needed saying? Don't put it in your butt. And yet, here we are in Sunderland, UK, a place I can only assume is the Florida of England, back in 2006.
That shit look gorgeous though.
It's November 8th, a few days after England's famous Guy Fawkes Night, where bonfires and fireworks are lit to celebrate the day Mr. Fawkes didn't blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Mr.
With
Fox.
a leftover firework, our
What
award
fuck is
winner
that?
decided he would let this one off in style by lighting the fuse, lying down on the ground, and planting the firework twixt his cheeks. The incident compromised
into
his
that.
junk and his ability to procreate, thus removing any more of his idiot antics from the gene pool. Wow, if I didn't know any better, I'd say Sunderland was challenging Florida for the title of most chaotic place in the world. Some like it hot. There's something about the superhuman abilities on
Man, put a
display during
firework up his
competitive
fucking
endurance
ass.
sports that you can't look away from.
That's
You want to
different.
watch a man run 200 miles in 48 hours? Of
No.
course you do. You want to see someone cycle 400 miles in less than a
No.
day? Absolutely.
No.
You want to watch someone step into a superheated hot box and stay in there for as long as possible?
Yes.
Hang on, what? That last one is real? And it's called the World Sauna Champion?
Listen, I would rather do that, watch the World Sauna Championship, than watch anything of like Tour de France, like Tour de France related. How like motherfuckers running marathons. I think that was like a bike thing too. Like that whole like triathlon shit. That's the word I was thinking of. The whole like triathlon bullshit. I ain't with it. Fuck it.
Championship? Yeah. Founded in 1999, the World Sauna Championship was an endurance competition held in Finland. Each year, many eager sauna-loving competitors would enter the hot box, which was
Grandpa.
an infernal 230 degrees
I'm gonna beat
Fahrenheit,
these fucking
hotter than
kids.
the boiling point of water and hot enough to cause third-degree burns.
Yikes.
Water was poured on the coals inside the sauna every 30 seconds, and competitors would attempt to outlast
Oh,
every
no.
other person in there, with their efforts only counting if they could walk out of
They could walk out. What if I crawl? What if I like fucking roll? I'm trying to think that would be a good ass way to lose weight though. Just join that competition, bro. You just sweat half your body weight off you.
Out of the box unaided. Not only was this an actual official event, competitors had to sign a legal agreement promising not to sue the event organizers if they got injured. Although that wouldn't make a difference to one of the men who competed back in 2010.
This fucked
After
up.
spending 6 minutes in the hellish hotbox and outlasting every other competitor in there, the final 2 remaining competitors passed out and had to be dragged from the box. Both were covered in third-degree burns and blisters and were suffering from convulsions.
What the
One was
fuck?
transferred to the hospital where they revealed 70% of his skin was burned, his respiratory system was scorched, and his kidneys failed. He was put into a medically induced coma for 6 weeks before miraculously pulling through.
Hey.
The other guy wasn't so lucky. He passed mere minutes after being dragged
By default, homie wins. I don't care if it's 6 weeks later. Other boy wins. Give him his trophy.
from the box. And to really add the shine to this award, both competitors were disqualified. Well, hey, if you enter life-threateningly stupid...
I'm gonna end it on this note because the video is basically he's not showing another one. L competition. I would have sued. I'm out. I got another video to record at this point.